Okay guys, I want to show you how I do this on my adjusting my detent. What I do is I roll it over. Here, can't do it hardly one hand. I roll over till after it fires, and then I get to where the cam is at the very highest point, right there. And you see right there, the latch is just right even. There's a little bitty space there, but they do get worn off on the end. I mean, and the block gets worn, so you could have to make a new one. But what you do after you get that set, where your cam lobe's at its highest point, you take a small screwdriver and you get right in there on that screw. There's a screw right there. You can get right in there with a small screwdriver and adjust that forward. You have to loosen that nut. Some of them have two nuts. Just loosen that nut a little bit and screw it, and this piece will go forward. And like I said, you get it right there to where it's even. Because if there's a little block, it's going to hit your cam lobe. But sometimes they do get wore off. It's not hard to make a new one. I'll tell you what, it's not hard at all to make a new one. I've got some laying here. Let me see. Got one laying here. My fucking shop's a mess. But anyway, here's one right here. And like I say, they're not hard to make. You just take and actually make it a little bit longer than you need, right? You can put a hole in there. You can make a square hole, if that's fine. But just use a carriage bolt and grind down the head flat, put through there. And then just take you a piece of 1-inch stock. And I just cut the back of it out with a die grinder. I drill a hole down here. Then I cut the back out with the die grinder. Then after you get it around your nut, your screw down there, just kind of peen it down. See how your screw's supposed to be like that? And that way, when you peen it around there, like this, you just kind of peen them down and it sets in there and they'll never come off. And that way, it'll give you a little bit. Like this piece here. On this detent, I know this one's too short. This is old. This is an old one. But I'm just kind of keeping it in, I don't know why, because it's there. But I know that's too short a detent, and I'll have to make a new one later. And the detent blocks also, here, I got a push rod right here. These detent blocks will get worn. They'll get a wedge on them right there where it's kind of pointed, and they'll catch and won't release your detent lever. So you have to sometimes take these off and square them up, or you can just turn them around. There's 1-inch square, you can turn them either way. But these and the end of your detent has to be square. Anyway, later guys. There's my old 9-horse. Might fire it up later today. Been a little bit. I ain't fired nothing up, really. Shop is a mess. Been too hot to do anything. Later guys.